everybody? Flip and Danny here, founders of the Freedom Real Estate Group family of companies, and welcome to another episode of our podcast, which is called
Freedom Through Passive Income.
And today's episode is the top 5 regrets before dying.
Yes.
Correct?
Correct.
Okay, so now I'll start off with this one. So this is from a book by Bronnie Ware. She's I guess, a doctor of sorts. She's in the medical field, I'll just say that. And her patients were those who had essentially gone home to die. And she said that she was always with them for the last 3 to 12 weeks of their lives. And these were the top 5 regrets that were consistently being brought up from her patients while they just moved home to die. And so the first one was, I wish I had the courage to live the life true to myself, not the life of others. And this is yours. So you're right here. Okay.
Yeah. So that was the top regret. So we printed this out because there's some really powerful words that were said in here. Yeah. Some of it we'll read. Some of it will just apply to us because things like this are important to me and to Flip.
Right.
Because in our lives, we want to make sure that once we reach the finish line, that we've actually lived a happy life and fulfilled life. So when I look at that one, I wish I had had the courage to live a life true to myself, not the life others expected of me. Part of me is like, what? Nobody expected us to be where we are right now. And we are where we are right now because we wanted to go here.
Oh, especially me.
Yes. But I would say it does apply when I was younger. I kind of went down a path, partly because I didn't know what I wanted to do. There needs to be a school of, hey, you're going to try this for 2 weeks and this 2 weeks and this to start to get an idea of what are my skill sets and what do I like, because I just went to college for music. We ended up playing horn. I mean, I met him. Like, everything in life happens for a reason, by golly. But ultimately, I didn't want to be...
You didn't have a choice. Sorry.
But I didn't want to be a musician forever. But that is what I did. I went to school for it. I just spent a lot of my life doing that. And had I continued to do that and that not have been my real passion when my real passion was real estate investing, then that would be a regret that happened when I died. Fortunately, I'm so grateful that we've lived as long as we have and that we were able to pursue this. So I just think that's how I relate to that particular regret.
Right. The second one was, I wish I hadn't worked so hard. And what was interesting when I read this one is it was mainly the male patients.
Yeah.
And she explained, though, that, it's the generations. And so the people that she was working with are of the older generations. And the females back in the day were not generally the breadwinner. Now, the females still had regrets, but it was typically the male that were saying, I wish I hadn't worked so hard. And we were just actually joking about it. If we knew 10 years ago, this would be where we were in 10 years, but we needed to work X hard. Would we do it? Yep. Yes. We sure would. Because we see the end line. We see where we're at now. Mm-hmm. So there is a give and take there, but that was one of the top regrets.
Yeah, but we did also mention at the very same time, what if one of us had died in the middle of this journey, right? We're super happy about where we are today, but what if we died 2 years ago, right? And I think that would have been a big regret. So there's got to be some balance in our lives there. Yep. So I really like that one. Before we go on, we're not going to do the Hulk smash because it feels a little bit too much fun during a regrets when you're dying episode. But if you are getting some value from what you hear from us, please like, love, subscribe. It just helps the algorithm, helps share the things that we're doing. If we're bringing value, it also makes us happy. So we can go, look, we got some likes. Yep. So thank you in advance for doing that. So number 3 was, I wish I'd had the courage to express my feelings. So she talks a lot about people who are suppressing their feelings and not sharing what they want. And what was really powerful, what I liked about what she wrote in here, is that people don't realize that if you express those feelings and you actually speak plainly and honestly and transparently with people, it actually elevates the relationship and makes the relationship stronger. But there's so many of us, me included, that don't like conflict. I will have it because when you're running a business, you have conflict is just part of it. So I will do it, but I don't enjoy it. I hate it. And I am very careful. I try to be careful because I've learned from not being careful of how to phrase things. But it's important to actually have those honest conversations. So I'm glad that this was one of the ones on the list. It's certainly been a lesson.
Yeah. Number 4 is, I wish I had stayed in touch with my friends. Now, obviously, this is a generational thing, too, because now with Facebook, everybody's in touch with everybody. Yeah. But this one actually hit home with me because, we were on cruise ships for 10 years. And when this was a time, email was just starting. So I did have email of some people, but there wasn't even MySpace. There was no Facebook. And so it's like we went through years where we didn't know what was going on in the world because we didn't pay attention to the news. But we also didn't connect with anyone or stay connected because we were out in the middle of nowhere. And then when we got off cruise ships, that's right when Facebook started. And so that's when I started reaching my friends. But this is obviously, but it's something that I love. I love Facebook for that reason. That I can connect with friends from high school, friends from elementary school, you know. I'm sure, I don't know if this would be that much of a regret today. But it definitely was for the generation that she was talking to.
Agreed, because I'm not very good at keeping in touch with anybody. I am very live in the moment type of person, and this is my best friend right here. Like, I'll do anything and everything with him, and I won't necessarily reach out to people that I really care about because I want to be with him all the time. Sucker. But Facebook has allowed me to find college friends and high school friends and all kinds of friends, and so it's been a gift. So I love that. And then the number 5 was, I wish that I had let myself be happier. Something that she says is, when you're on your deathbed, what others think of you is a long way from your mind. How wonderful to be able to let go and smile again long before you are dying. Life is a choice. It's your life. Choose consciously, choose wisely, choose honestly, choose happiness. And so I like that this one was mine because I was reading The Gap in the Gain. You're going to hear this in our book episode. It's one of my top 2 favorite books because it teaches you how you can be happy when you live in the gain. And you're not measuring yourself against an ideal that you're probably never going to reach because the finish line keeps on moving, especially with me in particular. So I think that this is something that we can all just choose to be happy and be happy about our progress and where we are and be present. It's not easy, especially with social media and how addicted we all are to our phones, but Flip and I make a practice, and we adamantly have to do this sometimes. We'll be at dinner, and we'll turn our phones over so that we cannot see them light up with a text or whatever.
I didn't even have my phone last night.
I know, it was awesome. And so it's just being deliberate about, choosing happiness and being present, with the people that you love. So I also wanted to let you know that if this is something you want to read more about, the book that we pulled this from is The Top 5 Regrets of the Dying, A Life Transformed by the Dearly Departing, and it's by Bronnie Ware.
Bronnie Ware.
Yeah. So it's a great book. Thank you for letting us share all of that with you.
Yeah, so again, we like to keep these short and sweet. Make sure you do hit the like and love button. Make sure that comments, Facebook groups up here. Again, facebook.com/groups/
Freedom through passive income.
That's right. But again, check us out on all the social media platforms. But we always like to end with,
invest smart,
live happy. Bye, everybody. Nothing on the show should be considered specific personal or professional advice. Please consult an appropriate tax, legal, real estate, financial, or business professional for individualized advice. Opinions and information on the show are not guaranteed. All investment strategies have the potential for profit or loss.